Last time, we decoded the sacred titles, God, Lord, Son, as invitations to step into our divine potential. But what happens when that potential is hijacked? What happens when authority is not earned through service, but seized through deception? The prophets gave this threat a face, a name, and a number. They called it the Antichrist, the Dajjal. We've been taught to fear a future monster, but the third side analysis reveals a more urgent and profound truth. These figures are a diagnostic blueprint for systemic evil. They describe not a who, but a what that has always been with us. The literal reading is specific and terrifying. A single supernatural tyrant will arise, perform dazzling tricks, unite the world under his mark, and wage war on the faithful. This narrative fuels paranoia, conspiracy hunting, and a passive waiting mentality. It externalizes evil into a comic book villain, distracting us from the real systemic corruptions that already demand our worship, deceive us with spectacle, and mark us for compliance. The third side asks, could these vivid prophecies be the ultimate form of spiritual inoculation? By giving the disease a horrific face, did the prophets give us the antibody to recognize its more subtle, everyday strains? Let's start with the names. The meaning is the message. Antichristos, Antichristos. Anti means both against and in place of. So the Antichrist is not just an opponent of Christ, it is a substitute, a counterfeit. It offers what looks like salvation but inverts every value of the true model. Pride instead of humility. Coercion instead of love. Spectacle instead of substance. Dajjal, a Dajjal. From the root DJL, meaning to cover, to conceal, to lie. He is the deceiver, the obscurer. His power is not in open force, but in covering reality with a convincing illusion. Both traditions describe the same four traits. Let's decode each as a systemic function. 1. False miracles and signs, 2 Thess 2:9, Hadith. Not literal magic, this is the dazzling spectacle of propaganda, technological manipulation, and ideological seduction. It's the miracle of a regime that makes millions believe in its infallibility, or a consumer culture that promises salvation through purchase. 2. Claiming divine authority, demanding worship, Rev 13:4. This is the core. Any institution, political, religious, economic, that positions itself as the ultimate, unquestionable source of truth and demands total ideological allegiance is enacting this role. It sets itself in place of God. 3. The mark, without which you cannot buy or sell, Rev 13:17. This is not a microchip, it is the mandatory ideological conformity required to participate in society. You must profess the correct beliefs, pledge to the right symbols, or silence your conscience to have a social security number, a career, a place in the community. It's the price of admission to the system. 4. The one-eyed deception, Hadith. This symbolizes a distorted, singular vision of reality. The system sees everything through one lens, its own ideology, and is therefore blind to any complex, divine, or contradictory truth. This isn't theory. We see the archetype manifest whenever the four traits converge. Historical, the imperial cult of Rome, Caesar as Dominus et Deus, Lord and God, required worship, allegiance. The mark was offering incense to his statue. The miracle was the spectacle of Roman power. Modern, totalitarian ideologies demand absolute allegiance, create their own reality through propaganda, miracles, and exclude the non-compliant from economic life, the mark. But it's subtler too. Any ideology of exclusive salvation, whether religious, political, or nationalistic, that demands you see the world only through its one eye, that brands dissenters as traitors, and that substitutes its own authority for humble truth-seeking, carries the spirit of the Antichrist. So here is the liberating, third side truth. The prophecy of the Antichrist, Chobo Pench, Dane Sign, Green Dajjal, is not a prediction to be feared, but a pattern to be recognized. It is a gift of discernment. The prophets aren't saying, hide until the monster comes. They are saying, when you see a system that dazzles and deceives, that demands worship, that marks its followers, and that sees with only one eye, you will know its true nature. Do not follow it. Hold fast to the spirit of truth, community, and independent conscience. The real end times battle is not against a beast, but for the integrity of your own mind and conscience against all forms of totalizing deception. You are called not to be a passive victim, but an active discerner. With this, we've applied the third side lens to the entire scriptural spectrum, from creation to the end of the story. We've seen that its power lies in revealing deeper, unifying truths that call us to maturity and responsibility. But this tool wasn't forged in a library, it was forged in the fire of real-life injustice. The same method that decodes the Antichrist as a system is the one I had to use to save my own life from a deceptive cultural parable. This means the journey is just beginning. The next application of third side analysis isn't in a sacred text. It's in the parables, proverbs, and narratives that govern our communities, our courtrooms, and our daily lives. It's time to turn the lens on the stories that truly shape us. What systems or ideologies in our world today do you see exhibiting these traits of deception, demand for allegiance and marking? Share your discernment below. In our next series we make it personal. We begin with the saying that nearly destroyed me, and show how third side thinking is the key to justice, clarity, and healing in our everyday world. The scriptural foundation is complete. The real work starts now. I'm Geo Explore, and this is Veritas Explore. Stay curious.